A presentation on strategic management by Professor Geetha Sivaraman. There are 3 stages in strategic planning. One is option generations. This includes increase the market share, penetration into international market, concentrate on the core competencies, acquisition and expansion. Stage 2, strategic options evaluations. Each option is then examined depending on its merits. Is it increase the existing strengths? Does it alleviate the existing weaknesses? Is it suitable for the firm's present position? Is it acceptable to the management, board, and to the stakeholders? Stage 3, strategic selection. This involves choosing between the alternative strategies. This process is strongly influenced by the values of the managers in selecting the strategies. Steps in strategic planning. The steps in strategic planning are illustrated in the following chart. A systematic approach need to be formalized. Strategic plans consist of both internal and external approaches. One, define the mission, set objectives, analyze the existing strategies, again define the strategic issues, develop new or revised strategies, and determine the critical success factors, prepare for plans and implementation, and again monitoring. Continuous monitoring essential. There are three approaches in strategic planning. One, top-down process. In this, managers are given targets to achieve, which they pass on down the line. Two, a bottom-up process in which functional and line managers, in conjunction with their staff, submit plans, targets, and budgets for approval by higher authorities. An iterative process. This involves both top-down and bottom-up setting of targets. Next, strategic management and strategic planning. There are 5 distinctions in strategic management and strategic planning. Strategic management focused on producing strategic results, new markets, new products, new technologies. It is all management by results. It is an organizational action process. It broadens focus to include psychological, sociological, and political variables. It is about choosing things to do and also about the people who will carry out all the matters. Strategic planning. It is focused on making optimal strategic decisions. It is management by plans. It is an analytical process. It is focused on business, economic, and technological variables. It is about choosing things to do. It is important to operate a planning process which will not only produce realistic and potentially rewarding plans, but will also secure the support of all those involved in implementing them. There are 3 approaches that can be adopted to strategic planning. A top-down process in which managers are given targets to achieve, which they pass on down the line. Bottom-up process, an iterative process In bottom-up process, functional and line managers, in conjunction with their staff, submit plans, targets, and budgets for approval by higher authority. An iterative process involves both top-down and bottom-up setting of targets. The iterative approach involves the maximum number of people most likely to deliver the strategic plans. Strategic management and strategic planning. Strengths of strategic planning. The formal strategic planning system is advocated for the following reasons. Increase in size of companies will increase in its risk. It improves the quality of management's decision making by encouraging creativity and intuition by tapping the ideas of the management team. The economic environment of business is fast changing. The reduction in entry barriers has intensified the competitive spirit. The long-run survival and growth of a business firm requires a well-planned decision-making, evaluation, and control systems. The long-term, medium-term, and short-term objectives, plans, controls can be made consistent with one another. Fallacies in strategic planning. The strategic planning models fail to account for how strategies are made. Empirical studies have not demonstrated that planning necessarily contributes to improved performance. Strategic planning occurs often in annual cycle. Formal planning discourages strategic planning. Planning gives an illusion of control even though the forecast assumption on which it is based on wrong. Approaches in strategic planning. Political and behavioral issues. Future is mostly uncertain. Formal planning treated as an exclusive by the top management functions. Planning assumes that the environment can be forecast and that its future behaviors needs to be controlled by various control measures. Non-availability of correct and accurate data. Top management making intuitive decisions that conflict with formal plan. Failing to use plans as a standard for measuring performances. Delegating tasks to a few persons rather than involving all managers. Failing to involve key employees. Failing to create an environment according to the change. Lack of flexibility and creativity. Strategic planning is costly exercise as well as time consuming. Strategic planning usually is restricted to hard business concerns, leaving without proper attention for soft issues like customers, qualities, labor productivities, social concerns. Strategic planning sometimes becomes a routine exercise without having proper attention to strategic issues. The planning process is isolated from the external groups that critically affect the company, like labor unions, consumer advocates, social service organizations. Thanks.